Hello everyone, I hope that you are doing well. So without wasting any time, let's move to the newspaper. First we will identify the important news and then we'll move on to the analysis section. So this is Thursday, April 28, 2022, The Hindu, Delhi edition, right? So we'll be first as usual identifying the most important news and then it will be followed by a detailed discussion of the same. So let us begin. The first news is very tragic in nature. A chariot caused fire as it touched live wire. I don't understand how that live wire was so uh, down that it got touched by a chariot. It should be at a relevant height, right? A pole of gloom, okay. So this is a challenge of electrical or challenge of power distribution, discoms, not discoms, power distribution, right? Distribution, high sag in wires, right? States are not passing on fuel duty to cut and duty cut to the people. Okay, we'll see it very briefly because it has a technical term, fuel duty cut, right? SC fixes final citizen hearing not required. Delhi should be under central control. Okay, they keep on saying these things. Loudspeaker removed from religious sites in UP. Okay. Center begins evicting eminent artists from government house. Dumped outside. Okay. There has been Lakshman Rekha for criticism. SC tells Khalid. Okay. Okay, nothing here. Nothing here. Okay, there is nothing. I don't say SDMC may begin encroachment not required. 2 days and death after getting trapped. No, 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 no. No video evidence of soldier taking part in request not required. Delhi government plan to ease norms to boot cloud kitchen segment not required. Okay, there is nothing here as well. Okay. What is this? Archaeology museum in AP to display 400 artifacts. Okay, we'll give it a brief read. Or Kafir training at okay, not required. Bihar you tied up from ceiling beaten. Okay. SSLV deployment flight likely in 2022. Okay, we'll also see this. Now donkey's milk works up a ladder. What is this? Okay, soap containing the donkey's milk. Fine, fine. Building back to avoid a learning catastrophe. Government and school must focus on important priority in school. Okay, we'll do this. Okay, it is related to education. Preventing harm. Inflammatory speed not required. It is always in use. Heart root from rubble of communal conflagrations. Okay, it is related to somewhat these bulldozer events, right? I don't think it is very much required because we don't have that much scope in answer writing. Okay, inter-election will be key to Congress revival not required. Energy independent through hydrogen. Okay, well, we'll give it a read because it is talking about hydrogen based energy, right? Social dialogue for safe workplace. Okay, cause for community. Okay, we'll also give it a read. It is important. Okay, energy polymer not required, not required. Indonesia palm oil export banned. Okay, we'll give first read the gist. If required, then we'll go inside it. Okay, and end of the road status of future group not required. What is this? A look at child and adolescents healthcare system. Okay, this is about healthcare. No, we have to read the entire article. Okay, so we'll be trying to read the entire article. First, we'll read the gist, and if it seems that yes, it is not clear, which obviously wouldn't be from that gist, we'll go to the article, right? Okay, if there's birth death reporting to be automated, okay, it keeps on coming like these things. Anything else? Labor code to be rolled out soon. Okay, when it will be rolled out, we'll see. Ban ordered in Roorkee, stop Dharam Sansad. Ban orders in Roorkee. Stop Dharam Sansad. Police detain 10% related to event. Okay. Plan 4G upgrade in LWE areas. There's nothing here. Ik by Modi's battery remark. See, center is discriminating against state ruled by BJP rivals. Okay, this was expected. PM to undertake 3-nation tours in first week of May. Okay. Germany, Denmark, and France. Okay. There's nothing here. Youth crisis reaches BJP door. Party MP targets Union Minister Piyush Goyal. Okay, Ukraine doing better at tactical naval level Navy chief. Okay, this. Okay. Mehbooba flays army school order on hijab. I just want to say one thing. They will never understand the value of education and the harm they are doing to the public of India, right? Let the girls be educated and then let them decide that if they want to wear hijab or if they want something else. Okay, you are just denying them the right of education by putting them into these controversies. Okay, don't do that. Education is must for India. If India gets educated, then no one will ask these leaders what to do and what not to do. Therefore, they never wants their community to be educated, right? Hull begins airframe fatigue test on. Okay, not required. Russia stop gas supply to two NATO nations expected. Okay, we'll see which two nations are there. Okay, that much only. Sri Lanka big businesses mount pressure on government. Obviously expected. China urges Pakistan to crack down terror outfit. If since three Chinese nationals have died, then China has urged Pakistan to crack down on terror outfit. But when Indian people dies in this terror outfit, in this terror attacks, then nobody comes to even condemn that attack. That yes, Pakistan has done that. Then they want proof that okay, tell me how Pakistan has done that. We have to give them those years that people that you see this. These are the proofs that they have done that. And then also they said no, these are not enough. Okay. Okay, they enhance non-urea fertilizer. Nothing here. Nothing here as well. Nothing here. And then we reach the sports page. Tewati and Rashid are hero as Titan clinches last ball thriller. So who is at the top right now? Titans. Okay. They have won a lot of matches. And who is at the bottom most? Mumbai Indians. Okay. Jadeja should lead the side with belief and authority. Okay. There is nothing here. There is nothing here. So with this, we come to the end of identification section of the news. And now let us jump directly to the analysis of this news. Right. So this is our first news. State not passing on fuel duty. Cut to people. BJP flays non-BJP government are not reducing value-added tax VAT. Okay. Said that fuel prices were too high in some states ruled by BJP rivals and were not passing the benefits of center excise duty cut to people. These states should bring an immediate remedial measures to stop the injustice. The neighboring states, this harms the neighboring state also. States like Karnataka and Gujarat undertook the tax reduction for welfare of the people despite revenue losses, while neighboring states earned revenue by not reducing taxes. Okay. He appealed to the state to ensure center corporation. Fine. Okay, and all those things are there. Fine. Opposition slaps PM remark, obviously. Sharply reacted to Mr. Modi comment that state ruled by them are not reducing VAT on petrol and diesel. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and her Maharashtra counterpart Uddhav Thackeray pointed out that how much center owned their respective states and flagged the center discrimination against opposition ruled state in preferential treatment for BJP ruled one. But tell me one thing. Okay, fine, they own it in terms of GST. I understand this. Most of the center own most of the states, the GST revenue sharing things. Okay, fine. But where it is related to not giving up the tax, means not reducing the tax, the VAT they are taking on petrol products like petrol and diesel, there is nothing. So again, this is what the opposition in India lacks. They go on to criticize anything and everything. Sir, please, you criticize him, you criticize the central government for GST related issues, but for the meantime, you must reduce the tax, the VAT that you take on petrol and diesel, so that the entire supply chain is benefited. Okay, just from the producer to the consumer and the middle things, the middle people involved in that, they must get benefited if from your decision. But what you are doing, you are taking out your personal vendetta that oh, Modi ji has not done this thing. Modi ji is saying to the opposition that oh, you are not reducing the fuel cost, and they are saying that oh, you have not given me the GST compensation right now. Why should I reduce the fuel cost, sir? For benefit of the country, please get over your personal vendettas and think like opposition and think like government. Okay, you opposition is God in this country, but what is happening? The God is not performing his duties, their duties, right? In current global scenario, for the strength of Indian economy, coordination between central and state in economic decision is necessary. Not only in economic decision, but in every decision is necessary. In the condition imposed by the global event, the spirit of cooperative federalism become important. Okay. I don't think there was any other news on this page, right? So let us. Center begins evicting eminent artists from government house. Yes, it is unfortunate, but that is also required. But center should have done something more. It should have at least made them get a house in nearby area. Okay, but they have thrown everything out of the premises. This is not good. Okay, people here they are not just ordinary people or some refugees. They are the eminent artists of India, given Padma Shri, means they are given Padma awards, and they are also very aged citizen, right? So this is very inhuman treatment. This should not have been done. The manner should have been a different manner, right? This is where the majority government could have done better. And the non-ending bulldozer debate. Okay, let's see archaeology museum in Andhra Pradesh to display 400 artifacts. The archaeological museum of Andhra Pradesh has built a museum in Illuru where nearly 400 artifacts dating back to early historic period from about 6th century BC, the Mahajanpad era, to 4th century BC, the era of Chandragupta Maurya, right? Means the era of beginning of Mauryas, and okay, from 6th century to 4th century to 19th century. The Union Ministry of Culture granted 3.75 crore under upgradation of museum scheme for 5 crore project to Iluru. Okay, there would be digital facilities as usual. And let me see if any special appearances are there. Nearly 400 artifacts have been collected and all those things. Okay, the artifacts include tools, sculpture, manuscripts, copper inscription, bronze coin, weapon and oil painting from 18th and 19th century AD. Okay, related to Buddhism is also there. Okay, the Ayaka pillars and other remnants from the Vulturu and Pinakadimi of Godavari will be displayed. A red sandstone mandap shed from Kota Diba in Iluri is one of the main attractions of the museum. The museum is equipped with digital facilities and will give visitor virtual experience. Okay, fine. So it's a good thing, but not this is only relevant. A red sandstone mandap shed from. Okay, so this is found there in Eluru because red sandstone is mostly found where in the North India, in the northern part of the Deccan Plateau, right? And it is Eluru is in the coastal Andhra. Fine. So it is not consistent with the geography of the region. So it seems that those red sandstones have been brought from some places. Okay, so SSLV development flight likely in 2022. All 3 missions will carry payload. ISRO chairman has said the ISRO is hoping to have all 3 development flights planned for its baby rocket, the SSLV, in 2022 itself. The development flight has been approved in our target. Okay, all 3 missions to be carried out from Satish Dhawan Space Center. The first development flight is expected to take place in June. Designed as a launch on demand and cheaper alternative for placing small payloads in orbit, it would have multiple mountaineering operation for nano, micro and small satellites. Okay, so it is what when it is what we say launch on demand. Okay, launch on demand means it is more what consumer based, not the producer based. Physically, SSLV is the 3-stage rocket with height of 34 meter and lift weight of 120 tons. By comparison, the the PSLV, ISRO's reliable workhorse, stands 4.44 meter tall and has 4 stages. That has 3 and it has 4, and it could lift 320 tons for its XL variant. Okay, there would be private. Okay, fine, nothing is there. So just know that SSLV will now be deployed for marketing purpose as well. Now, as usual, we'll be doing editorial and text and explain pages and op-ed page at last. So first, let us analyze the remaining news, and it goes here. Let's see if there were any news on this page. Nothing. Nothing as well here. Okay, nothing as well here. Yes, Russia stopped supplying gas to 2 NATO nations. European leader decree the move as blackmail. Means what do the European leaders want? They want to sanction Russia, and when it hit back, then they are saying that it is blackmailing. I don't understand this European psychology. Means I understand, but I don't understand why they do like that. They should not do like this. Either you are with yourself or you are against yourself. As you have always portrayed during the so-called global war on terrorism, you said that either the world is with us or against us, right? You are led by US. You see Russia as an enemy. If you have seen Russia as a neighbor, right, things would have been different. You are doing, NATO is doing some Neptune strike exercise in the Mediterranean. You are doing exercises with Ukraine, and you are then saying that, oh, why should Russia attack? It will definitely attack. Why have you provoked things to this level? You should have understand. You are a mature community. You have seen 2 world wars. Actually, Asia has never seen a world war till date. You were involved in that world war, and you have named it as world war in like that. Like what we say that the world starts at Europe and ends at Europe only. You without any reason you got India into the you dragged India into that war. You got our people killed. What was our benefit in that? Nothing. In first world war we were not independent. In second world war we were also not independent. Okay, so this kind of an attitude is never good for the general development of human. You all must come to the table and decide a pact. If you want to neutralize Russia, then table is the best option. If you want to say you want to demilitarize Russia, that is something on the lines of that again Treaty of Versailles, and we have seen that what it has given to the humanity. It has given the Second World War to humanity, right? So don't do that one more time. Okay, and who are the 2 members? Poland and Bulgaria. Okay. Leader decided the move at blackmail after. Okay, Poland has been made a gateway for delivery of weapon to Ukraine and confirmed this week that it is sending country tanks. Look, Poland is sending tanks, Bulgaria is sending something, this your what we say Germany is sending something, France, Canada, everyone is sending something, right? But not without a price. They will charge a price for that, and no one is sending their people on the ground. Okay, it is the Ukrainians that have to fight. Now this episode gives us at least two message. The first message is what? you cannot change your geographical neighbors. Okay, this is very applicable to India. We cannot change the fact that Pakistan is our neighbor, China is our neighbor. Yes, so what we should do, we should try to come together, okay, and create a more better ecosystem for functioning of all of our economy, right? And the second lesson what we got, you have to fight your war always alone. Nobody will help you or will fight for you in the war, or will replace you in the war, right? You have, it is your war and you have to fight it. People may help you, people may be against you, but the war, it is you who have to fight, right? So understand these two things, okay? And let's see. And they are saying that, oh, they are blackmailing us. Yes, they will blackmail. It is their weapon in their arsenal. Why won't they use that? Why won't Russia use that? You have used your arsenal weapon, the so-called financial nuclear bomb you have dropped on Russia also. So you should never be on one side. Think from both sides. And I think that countries like Germany, France, Sweden, and other Nordic countries can broke out peace here, but they are not breaking in peace. I think they are under the pressure of, in my opinion, they are under the pressure of USA, so that the war continues for some more time, and a good businesses and a good business based on this war prospers. Okay, war has always been a big business for US. Okay, let's move forward. Ex-marine freed in prisoner swap. Okay, fine. Is there anything else? Not on this page. We seldom find news related to our exam on this page. Okay. So here we come to end of today's news analysis. Now let us go directly to the editorial analysis, right? Okay. So this is our editorial, first editorial. Building back to avert a learning catastrophe. Government and school must focus on important priority in school education. Okay, most important priority. So we'll see what is the most important priority here. That is learning recovery. Okay, it has given it here only, and it's a very relevant point. In the post-pandemic world, learning recovery is a very important point and a very vast challenge that India will face or is facing. Right, we are in the beginning of this phase, facing this challenge, and I'm very positive that we'll get over it also, as we have get over most of our challenges, right? So let us read it and see what ideas the author wants to present. Okay, building back to avert a learning catastrophe. Okay, the COVID-19 pandemic has unarguably emerged as the biggest disruption in the field of school education in the last 100 years. Correct. After the plague, it is one of the most deadliest thing that we have seen. It would take many more months before the medium of and long-term impact of school closure is fully comprehended. Obviously, a joint report by UNESCO, UNICEF, and World Bank says the state of global education crisis, a part to recovery. Okay, just remember this thing. This is a very good thing to write in examination, that there has been a report combined by UNESCO, UNICEF, and World Bank, and it titles the State of Global Education Crisis, a part to recovery, released in early December 2021. Has estimated that in first 21 months of pandemic, the school in countries around the world were either partially or fully closed for an average of 224 days. Now, out of 350 odd days, we are closing it for about 240 odd days, right? So what happens? 360 odd days. This is 6, this is 4, this is 2, this is 3. More than 66% times, the means more than 2/3 times the school was closed. During the same period, school in India were closed for physical classes and almost for twice the duration. That is about 450 to 480 days. About 500 days we have closed our schools. Means 1.5, 2 years, right? Since publication of this report, the Omicron variant of SARS-CoV-2 led surge globally and resultant third wave of COVID-19 in India further delayed reopening of school. By March or early April 2022, when reopened, school in India cumulatively closed for physical classes for around 570 to 600 days. About 600 days we have lost. One of the longest school closure in the world. And 2 days ago or 3 days ago, we have read an article where it was saying what was the problem now? Problem of after reopening is finding the dropout children and reorienting them towards schools. Okay, this was one of the problem. And then if we reorient them also, then also there will be required a learning recovery. Look, this is the scenario. Now let me wait a minute. Yes. So let this be the occurrence of pandemic. Okay, pandemic. So before pandemic, say this was the level. Okay, about this only the level. During pandemic, after pandemic, what happened? The school, it was almost zero. Almost what we should make it zero, because almost all the schools were closed, right? And about after 600 days, okay, what had happened? We are in this phase. Okay, so now two things can happen. Either it can plateau or it will get ahead and then plateau out. So this is general condition, normal condition, where what will happen? Two things will happen: loss of loss of what we say learning, right? Or second is your dropout, increased dropout. Okay, and this is the condition when effort efforts are made, if efforts are made for learning, recovery, right? And plus the second thing will be this reorienting the children towards schools, right? So these two things when will be there, then we can achieve a level of school education, the primary school education at least, which would be greater than the pre-pandemic level. But this would actually condition, look, this is condition 1, this is condition 2, condition 3, right? So condition 3 will require what, very very high efforts in this field. This effort will be both, now the effort will not only be from government side but also from community side, right? And there should be a health angle as well, right? Getting all three angles correct, then only we can reach that thing. Okay, now let's see what the author have to say. I often indulge in those things like making graphs. I love making graphs, you know. I have been making graphs every other day in the newspaper, right? Analysis. However, just when school parents and children have begun getting accustomed to the regular offline classes, there were reports of uptick of COVID-19 cases in India, including few cases of children testing COVID-19 positive. This again whipped out the demand for some sections of the parent to move back to the hybrid classes. There has been suggestion for partial closure of the school, even temporary, but full closure of the school if there are few cases of COVID-19 in the school. In fact, a few private schools have moved to the hybrid mode. Okay, this demand for shifting hybrid mode or that of partial closure with every single case in the school site is not scientifically supported and could prove a big threat to school education in India. The reason is simple. SARS-CoV-2 will stay with humanity in the months and years to follow. COVID-19 cases are likely to be reported from all settings, including among the school children, with an unpredictable rise and fall. Therefore, it is impractical, unnecessary, unscientific, and unethical to even consider open and shut model for school. Okay. What the author wants to say that we should learn to live with COVID-19 as we have learned to live with malaria, as we have learned to live with AIDS, as we have learned to live with plague and other things, right? And just on the basis of the fact that yes, schools are opened, that yes, there are reported cases in children and yes, there are reported cases in other sections, that does not mean that open and shut model for school should be taken off, right? It simply means that the author wants to convey that we should learn to live with COVID-19. It is not going anywhere in coming in the near future, right? Maybe after 10 years, in my humble opinion, after 10 years or so, we may develop a certain vaccine that in one shot only gets rid of COVID-19. But today, as per today, in near future, we don't find any conclusive evidence that shows that yes, we can have a vaccine that can eradicate this pandemic like smallpox, right? Adverse outcome are low. Children are part of family and society. Therefore, when COVID-19s are being reported in community, children are likely to test positive. Okay. However, 2 years into the pandemic, what is proven is that while children do get SARS-CoV-2 infection at the same rate as adults, the probability of adverse outcome of moderate to severe disease is low. Okay, the immune system of children have better responded to this COVID-19 rather than adults. Okay, the news of children being detected COVID-19 positive is drawing more media attention after school reopening. However, there is no evidence that children have contracted the infection in school. Okay, so this is also a good point. There is no evidence that the infection was contracted in school. In most of the cases, they are more likely to have infected from family member. In fact, even before school were reopened, successive sero prevalence survey across the India sero survey, right? Indian states have reported nearly 70 to 90% of all children had already got infection, thus protected. So it is a huge population. 70 to 90% of children has already been infected in some way or the other, and hence has the protection of antibodies in their body. 25 months into the pandemic, SARS-CoV-2 infection is not an immediate concern. What matters is the outcome of the infection. So what matters is the outcome of the infection. Most healthy children do not develop severe outcomes, a situation which has not altered even with the emergence of new variant of concern. In foreseeable period, possibly for many months, COVID-19 cases would not be zero in any group, thus including school children. Obviously, therefore, it is a sign that we as a society stop worrying about children contracting COVID-19 infection. The hybrid mode of learning or partial closure of a school are not opinion anymore. Rather, the focus has to be on how to keep a school fully open. What is the challenge? The recurring discourse on whether to move hybrid classes or when to close school is providing a big distraction from presenting challenges in school education, namely the learning loss. It is the time we plan and act to ensure learning recovery. Okay. First, the reopening of school does not mean that all children have begun returning to school. Okay, reopening, as I said, does not mean all children has become returning to school. It is a time that education department in every state needs to process so as to ensure that every school in every district ensures that no child has dropped out from the education system and that every eligible child is enrolled. Special attention is needed for enrollment of all children and girls, especially poor, backward, rural, urban slum dwellers. Children who are eligible for admission in nursery or classes 1 and 2 will need special attention. They would be kept step in taking. This would be a key step in taking pandemic-related enrollment inquiries. Second will be learning loss during last 2 years is humongous, and learning recovery should be the priority of every state government. Why? P equals to P, priority should be equals to policy. So priority is what? Learning recovery, and policy should be, policy of education should be aligned with that only. Okay, there has to be focus on the need of access and all those things. Consultant to ensure the successes of such effort. School children will need support of training, documentation. Take as a matter. Mentor teacher initiated by government should be the okay. Fine. Increase allocations. Third, looking at the pandemic in real time, it is a time for every state to reassess the challenge of school education. Okay, reassess the challenge of school education. Fine. Subject expert must examine the recommendation made by NEP in context. All of this would require additional government investment. Okay, so the third point is related to investment, so that another pandemic should not hit education like that. The fourth, there are studies and reports that mental health issues are and needs in school age children have doubled in pandemic period. Obviously, this call for making provision for mental health services. Okay, provisions for mental health services. Okay, is there anything else here? Fifth, the midday meal services have resumed after a gap of 2 years. There are 12 crore children in India whose nutrition status is dependent on these schools' meal. Any disruption in supply school means a lack of sufficient nutrition, and we know food means not only food, healthy food is also a vaccine, right? Okay, social and moral responsibility. It is time to recognize the risk of COVID-19 children are very low and far lower than the prevalent health concerns, and hence, according to the author, the school should be open. Studies have shown that every month the school closure results in loss of learning ability. Obviously, by 2 months, by calculation, the learning of children in India has gone back by almost 3 years. Now the schools are reopening. We cannot start as if nothing has happened. We can only not be distracted unnecessary, right? But okay, realizing the challenges posed by the pandemic, the government needs to take every necessary step to bring school education back on track. Okay, government prepares the social. Okay, where the government, parents, community, and school needs to work together. It is our moral and social responsibility to work toward the future of this nation. A good article. It has identified 5 challenges in the post-pandemic world and urges the government and the community to take up those challenges and solve it one by one, so that the right to education of every individual is not denied. Fine, we are done with this article. Let's see the next article. The next article is energy independence through hydrogen. It can help lay the foundation of new India, which aims to be a global climate leader. We aim for a 5 trillion economy, right? We are aiming for 12 trillion hydrogen based economy. It will be 12 billion or so. Okay, I'm not sure with that data. I'll not write that. Okay, let's see. India Green Hydrogen Policy, February 17, 2022 had addressed several critical challenges and all those things. Per capita consumption is about 1/3 of the global average, right? And world 12th of US, leading growth. Our per capita energy expenditure, right? Let's see. And future import. This coupled with volatility. Look, we require more and more energy because we are a developing population, and there is volatility in prices. So this has given the roller coaster ride to energy prices in from historical low in 2020 to record high in 2021. Okay, the new age fuel hydrogen is touted as India's gateway to energy independence. Yes, because the entire universe has a lot of hydrogen, and hydrogen on burning gives only water vapor. Okay, which is good for the earth. What is the problem there, right? Hydrogen has multi-facilitated role to play in futuristic energy landscape. It is easy storage, long-haul transport, or decarbonization of industrial sector. 2-3 days ago, there was a data that 1 kg of hydrogen will give how much? About 100-kilometer ride. Obviously, to maybe say per person, if it is 100 kilometers, So for 4-5% also it will give about 70-80 kilometers, because more energy will be needed in fraction, right? And for say for commercial vehicle it will give say 50 kilometers per ride. So even that, if it has a mileage of 50, then also it is economical, as well as high per capita, high per kg energy storage, right? In long run, two envisaged prominent fuels are hydrogen and electricity. Though both energy vectors, hydrogen can be stored on a large scale for longer duration, explicitly affirming a huge potential to become great balancer of ever-increasing supply of variable renewable energy. It will complement and accelerate renewables into India's clean energy transition, thereby supporting India's ambition plan to achieve 500 gigawatts of renewable energy by 2030. And tell me, how many gigawatts of solar have we produced? Solar is about 150 gigawatts have been produced, and 350 of renewable is still we are lagging behind, right? Hydrogen is a game changer, obviously. As I have said, the advantage of fuel cell battery over battery electric vehicle are faster fueling and long driving range, and therefore, as I said, long driving range, it is written here also, therefore making them ideal for long haul transportation, which is a major constraint with lithium ion battery. In industrial segment, hydrogen can decarbonize hard to abate sectors such as iron and steel, aluminium, copper structure. It is a huge prospect to produce fuels such as methanol, synthetic kerosene, and green ammonia. You can understand how what we can do with this. Indian hydrogen consumption is about 7 metric ton in 2020, and according with the tertiary, it is anticipated to leapfrog over 28 MT in 2050. Assuming 25% export capacity, we can expect a requirement of 35%, 35 MT by 2050. On basis of this assumption, we can calculate India would require tentative capacity of in a range of 192 gigawatt to 224 gigawatts of electrolyzers by 2050, assuming all of it is green hydrogen. Okay, why we need electrolyzer? Look, hydrogen can be generated like this, O2. Okay, so this is your hydrogen equation. So we need to electrolyze water, if not anything else. An electrolysis of water will give us what? Hydrogen. Now what we can do? We have to just electrolyze water. So what we can do? We can use the used water, right, for electrolysis that cannot be reused. We can just separate out the sludges and all those things, and we can get hydrogen from out or from there and oxygen from one side. So this will do what? This will also help in oxygen financing during pandemic times. Example, Operation Samudra Shakti. We have done this thing, right? Yes, okay. And hydrogen as a fuel. So we are getting both things here. So electrolyzers will need, okay. If global capacity of electrolyzers has just crossed 300 million, and will be needing about 250 gigawatts of electrolyzer by 2050, right? Megawatts, okay. Capacity of 8 times of current global capacity. This signifies India itself will require an electrolyzer capacity of about 750 times of current global capacity by 2050. This would entail an exponential increase in electricity demand of about 1500 to 1800 GWh. Okay. Now why we need electrical? Because for electrolyzing of water we need electrical spark. Okay. So this spark will be from where? From high. This need for spark will lead to high demand for electricity. Okay. Apart from ever-increasing electricity demand, the high cost of hydrogen manufacturing and water scarcity could also pose a challenge. Production of 1 kg of hydrogen by electrolysis requires about 9 liters of water. Therefore, hydrogen project planning should be holistic and in targeted area and that are not water scarce. Creating hydrogen economy is a chicken and egg problem, as consumers seek lower cost, which could be possible with scalability and large investment. But for those producers seek assured demand, hydrogen fuel fulfills the 3 E's of Indian energy roadmap: energy security, energy sustainability, and energy access. And India should strive to seize one more E, that is economic opportunity. Okay, so 4 E's, so that industry can be encouraged to its full potential. 5-step strategy. So there is a strategy which is based on 5 steps to develop hydrogen based fuel market. Demand side, the 5-step strategy should be devised. Firstly, to create initial demand, a mandate should be given to mature industries such as refining and fertilizer with adequate incentives. Okay. Secondly, industries manufacturing low emission hydrogen based product, inter-allied green steel and green cement need to be incentivized by government policies. Thirdly, blending hydrogen with natural gas can act as bio booster, which can be facilitated by farming blending mandates, regulation, and promoting SCNG station. Further, to promote FECEVs, hydrogen. What is this FCEV? Let me see. Have I missed that or what? Okay. Nothing is written here. Why do they write such short form without anything? Okay, let me find out. FCEV. FCEV. Fuel cell. Okay. So it is fuel cell vehicles. Okay. Hydrogen fuel station may be planned on dedicated corridors with long distance trucking is widespread. Lastly, the concept of carbon tariffs need to be introduced on land of European company. Fine. Supply side too, there is a 5-step strategy too. Firstly, investment in R&D. Secondly, sustainable alternative towards affordable transportation Satat scheme. Okay. Thirdly, to commercialize and scale up nascent technology, a viability gap funding is needed. Further, to secure affordable financing, electrolyzer manufacturing and hydrogen projects need to be bought under priority sector lending. Lastly, since two dominant cost factors for green hydrogen, renewable energy tariffs and electrolyzer cost, and India has the advantage of one of the lowest renewable tariff, the thrust should be on reducing the cost of electrolyzer by implementing PLI. Okay, this would help India to become a global hub for electrolyzer manufacturing and green hydrogen. On the transportation front, so there are 3 fronts, right? See, okay, it is not visible now. Let me change the color. Is this visible? No, it is also not properly visible. So let's take yellow. Okay, so 3 fronts are there: demand side, supply side, and transport side. Okay, right? Energy density could be promoted as mode of. Okay, a hydrogen transportation system could also be built on foundation created by natural gas by using its existing infrastructure. Additionally, hydrogen transportation project may integrate with PM Gati Shakti master plan. Obviously, a 100 lakh crore project can help us to become a more carbon neutral, energy efficient, right? Hydrogen could completely transform India energy ecosystem by shifting its trajectory from energy importer to a dominant exporter over next few decades. India could export to projected future import center like Japan, South Korea, etc. With hydrogen, India could lead world achieving Paris Agreement goal of limiting global warming to 2 degrees compared to the pre-industrial level. Hydrogen could also lay foundation of new India, which would be energy independent. Okay, so Atmanirbhar Bharat in energy, a global climate leader and international energy power. Okay, COP26 Prime Minister has said for Panchamrit. Okay, with an ambitious target to achieve net zero by 2070. Hydrogen will certainly play a decisive role in India's net zero ambition in making India Atmanirbhar in energy. As I said, Atmanirbhar Bharat in energy. So what is this? This is a very relevant article. Expect a question in mains for this, right? From this article, not directly. It would be a larger picture that how can India become energy independent, or the larger picture could be that the road to energy independent is full of roadblocks, but the hydrogen could be a saver discuss, or the renewable source can be a saver with respect to India achieving its 2070 goals and all those kind of things. The larger picture will come, and this will become a paragraph, not a point, a paragraph in your answer, right? There are 5. There are about 10 plus some more points, right? So there are 10 plus points here, right? And these 10 plus points will help you to write down a very relevant answer. Okay, social dialogue for safe workplace. The OSH code calls for committees for worker safety. And what is this OSH code? Let us see. 6 million people dying due to COVID-19 last 2 years. Safety and health has become central to every local, national, international discussion, accident, injuries and all those things. Globally, an estimate of 2.59 million deaths and 402 million non-fatal injuries are attributed to occupational accident and disease. Okay, occupational safety. What a hazard it is. How could 2 things come? And health. Okay, and health, right? What is OSH? Occupational safety and health. So what does the author want to say? The author want to convey that in the last year, pandemic has taken so many lives, and also due to lack of occupational safety and health, there are other is one of the reason for other number of deaths, right? So it is increasing the death toll in the country as well. For the world of work to build forward from pandemic in more human-centered and resilient way, occupational safety and health mechanism needs to be strengthened. Since 2003, ILO has commemorated April 28 as World Day for Safety and Health at Work to stress the prevention of accident and disease at work by capitalizing on our strength of tripartisan and social dialogue. Okay, our new publication this. Okay, act together to build a positive set. Okay, implementation of OSH code. Occupational accidents and disease cost 5.4% of global GDP annually. Just know this data. Okay, about 5% of global GDP is attributed to occupational accident and disease cost. While such tangibly they materialize as presentism, working with less effectiveness, productivity losses associated with permanent impairment, etc. The Government of India declared National Policy on Safety, Health and Enforcement at Workplace in February 2009 and compiled the available OSH information as National OSH Profile in 2018. Okay. Effective implementation of Code of OSH and Working Condition of 2020 is expected to extend OSH protection to more sectors, especially to informal worker who made up nearly 90% of India workforce, and provided fair and effective labor inspection. As labor inspection, okay, these things are there. No need to go into data. Data will change every now and then. Okay, so include all relevant ministries. So it wants a cooperation at national level, right? Cooperation or convergence. Okay, this requires allotting adequate resources. Again, the challenge of fund, functions and functionaries. Okay, at state level, worker and employer need by way of bilateral discussion must incorporate. So discussions at state level, social dialogue is at society level. OSH coverage across India. India has some good practice for exceeding OSH coverage. Government of Uttar Pradesh in cooperation with employers worker carried out participatory OSH training workshop for mental and garment home. Okay, the government of Kerala applied ILO participating OSH and all those things. Okay, these are some examples. If question directly comes, then what can be done? You have to write this example. If it comes somewhat in a bigger picture, which is a more relevant aspect, look from where we can get questions from this in labor issues, right? Issues related to labor. One of the issue is OSH, occupational health and safety. Okay, you always consider an article with respect to on which challenge front can this article be related. It is obviously related to labor issues in India, and labor issues is one of the most pressing issues in India, right? We are talking about labor reforms, but we are not getting that. Okay, occupational injuries and illness causes immeasurable sufferings and losses to victims and their families. Often they are economic losses and all those things. Strong social dialogue mechanism, safety, health, adequately investing in prevention, on all those things. Okay, this is a way forward, not very relevant. Just go through this article once, you will understand it. It is very easy. The only thing is, try to mention this point OSH in labor issue and you get a half marks bonus, right? These are very these points, what these shows that you have been reading newspaper for a longer duration of time. It is not, you do not have a shallow knowledge but a deep knowledge of understanding of the issues pertaining to the labor challenges and overall to the country. Okay, let's see. Indonesia palm oil export ban. So why the country is suffering from acute shortage of cooking oil? How will India be affected by this move? Indonesia, the world's biggest producer of palm oil, would be banning all exports of the commodity to reduce domestic shortage of cooking oil due to short supply of alternative vegetable oil. Lower than expected output from second biggest palm oil producer Malaysia due to pandemic, inducted labor shortage, global food inflation. Okay, linked to pandemic and Ukraine crisis, the global prices of crude palm oil have been rising significantly since end of last year. To control these prices, the Indonesian government introduced price cap of palm oil, which led to hoarding and reselling. All of these factors, along with producers being discouraged from making more oil, led to an acute shortage of cooking oil in Indonesia. So what was the problem? There are some external problems, there are some internal problems. What is the external problem? The most important is pandemic induced labor shortage and food inflation, right? The internal problem is government ordered to control the prices of palm oil. Government has done what? It has ordered about a price cap for palm oil, which led to what? It led to hoarding and reselling that in the international market, right? Okay, India is the biggest importer of palm oil, already grappling with record high wholesale inflation about okay, I think 14% is right now. Okay, India's January export excised by Indonesia has led to 38% rise in landed cost of CPU in India. The current ban is going to make situation worse. What can India do? Get it from other players like Malaysia, but Malaysia is still in it has also not produced that much. So we'll see how we can manage it. And then we have this abstract, a look at child and adolescents healthcare system. Children are considered to be the bulwark of nation's future, and easing the passage for their growth and development should be the highest priority. Let's read the gist first. I think it is a work of some author. It is abstract, no? Okay, let's read it. First the gist. Over 8.6 million deaths occurred among children and adolescents in 2019. A new lesson series called Attention to the Crisis of Children, urging a complete rehaul of healthcare system. Okay, and this 8.6 million is across the world, right? The paper in the series have a broad span. Okay, the papers in the series, I was correct. Expansive view of situation. The papers look at effect of early life poverty on growth and development of children, highlights the huge inequalities in system and suggests redesigning of service delivery and outcomes. The author, while calling the effort to reimagine the delivery of services that will help children thrive, mentioned that a piecemeal approach catering only a certain age group and not the best way to handle the crisis in healthcare. Now, look, no need to read it. I first thought that it is related to some kind of performance of a scheme or what, but it is abstract, means it is work of some author, and then the viewpoint that just amply summarizes it. How we can use it in mains paper? The question is this, right? Look, child and adolescence, it is related to vulnerable groups, GS 1, right? Healthcare system, GS 1, 2, 3, everywhere. So wherever we will be writing challenges of healthcare system, what we have to do, and when we are writing means say supply side, demand side, and population specific, right? In that section we have to write women and child. Women, make child and adolescence. Okay, the third one will be your adult, fourth one will be elderly, fifth one will be your transgender, sixth one will be your safai karamchari. Okay, seventh one will be tribals, eighth one will be something, ninth one will be something. So do it like this. You'll understand how to break the answer. Now, look, if we are writing just challenges of healthcare system and we are doing supply side, demand side, and one more thing, level wise we can have at primary healthcare, at secondary healthcare, at tertiary healthcare thing, right? In this way. So you see, we have 15-20 points here only, and writing a 15-point answer in 15 marker question is more than what is required. You don't have a scope for writing that much in your answer, right? Your page will get exhausted. You understand? So don't compartmentalize things. In reality, we cannot compartmentalize things. Compartmentalizing of the syllabus is just for your convenience and not for writing the same in examination. That if something comes in history GS1, then only I'll write historical perspective to it. No, if the historical perspective is demand of the question in GS4 also or GS3 also, you must write it there, right? Give a point, not extend it beyond the limit, beyond the threshold, but you must write it, right? So I think yes, with this we complete today's newspaper analysis. As usual, your homework is the same. Write down in comment box which articles you will use in your answer and how, not how, and in which GS paper. Okay, also write down what you learnt from today's analysis. Fine. So you understand? Look, this exercise will help you to understand the demand of this examination and how to write a proper answer in this examination. Okay. And as far as the things are concerned, we are ending today's lecture here. It is not a lecture, it is a discussion, right? My apologies. And so we are ending the today's discussion here. You know, I read each and every comment, right? So do comment, and with this I'm ending it right now. Okay, cut. So friends, I really hope that you like this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe our channel and share this video with your friend. Follow us on Telegram as well. Also keep studying hard, keep following your dreams, and keep tuned to our channel. Comment below for any suggestion. Till then, goodbye, good luck, keep studying hard.